And a pleasant good afternoon from the 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel and WIBW News on Facebook. This is a Kansas City Chiefs instant reaction video. My name is Dan Lucero. The rest of the 580 Sports Talk crew may be conspicuous by their absence. I told them they didn't have to show. This is going to be a short one. The Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Tennessee Titans 26-9 this afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. The loss marks the first four-game losing streak of the Patrick Mahomes era, though, of course, Mahomes did not play in today's game. And it officially will mark 2025 as the Chiefs' first losing season since Andy Reid became their head coach. First losing season since 2012 as they dropped to 6-9 on the season. And this is one of those where we watched it, so you didn't have to. This is a instant reaction on the 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel and WIBW News on Facebook. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. We appreciate all of those of you who do check out the video content, who do subscribe, who do follow the Facebook page, and again, subscribe to the YouTube channel 580 Sports Talk. Not a lot to say about this one. Let's start here. Man, I feel bad for Gardner Minshew. Adam Schefter reporting. I think our guy Matt Derrick had it first, actually, our Chiefs insider. The fear is that Gardner Minshew tore his ACL in the first half of this game, which would make two Chiefs quarterbacks to suffer that injury in a 2-week span. And obviously, that makes things even more difficult for the Chiefs going into 2026. If Patrick Mahomes is not ready for week one, Minshew is going to be a free agent. But the thought was, hey, go ahead and re-sign him to another one-year deal. And he's been around, knows the offense, and could maybe take the reins for a couple weeks while Mahomes works his way back from a torn ACL. Well, now Gardner Minshew's got to work his way back from a torn ACL, and just feel terrible for him. That's happened early in the game. You could tell he wasn't right. Ball wasn't coming out of his hand right after he got landed on funny, and you hurt for him. And happy for Chris Oladokun, guy who's put in a lot of work on the practice squad and who finally got a chance for meaningful snaps. He played 5 snaps at the end of that Week 18 farce against the Broncos last year. These were meaningful NFL snaps. He made a couple of nice plays. Also showed his limitations, showed why he's a third-string practice squad quarterback. But Chris Oladokun completed some passes. First NFL completion was to Travis Kelce. That had to be pretty cool for him. And I'm happy for Chris Oladokun today. I wish I could say there were some other young players who got to play today. That would not be correct. And that is where my primary gripe with this game begins. Didn't see much of Noel Williams. If Jeffrey Bassa was out there, he was invisible on defense. Jalen Royals, I don't think, got a snap. Rashard Smith got 1 touch. What are we doing? You know these games don't matter. We know these games don't really amount to anything. And a lot of teams will use these games when eliminated to start working in some younger guys, rotating in some different players, see what they got a little bit. And the Chiefs' ongoing refusal to do that at the expense of guys who are not going to be on the 2026 Chiefs is infuriating to the point of wanting to rip every last hair out of your head. I know Christian Fulton stinks. I don't need to watch him play football. I don't need to watch Mike Edwards play football. Jack Cochran's not athletic enough to play linebacker in the NFL. I don't need to see him play football anymore. Isaiah Pacheco stinks. I don't need to see him play football anymore. I don't need to watch Kareem Hunt run for 3 yards unless it's a 3rd and 1. I don't need to see that ever again. I don't need to see Juju Smith-Schuster out there running 2-yard routes and dropping passes. I don't need to see that anymore. I've watched it all year. I know what it looks like. I don't know what the rest of it looks like. I think Noel Williams could be good. Jeffrey Boss is at least an athlete, more than you could say for Jack Cochran. Jalen Royals, I was intrigued by, and it bothers me even more not seeing him get any snaps when you see a guy who was taken about 10 picks after him, not even that many, in the 4th round of last year's draft. Elick Ayomanor making plays for the Titans, and Jalen Royals can't get on the field for the Chiefs because we got to get Juju Smith-Schuster, those veteran snaps. Those are so important. I don't know. I don't know what this coaching staff is doing, to be completely honest with you, with regards to that. And Andy Reid's stock answer all week was, well, we are playing the young guys. No, you're not. You're not. Quit lying. You're not playing the young guys. And in the end, that makes today's loss even worse because you can abide going on the road and getting smacked around by a 2-win team that, to be fair to the Titans, that's 3 straight weeks they've scored 20-plus points. They're starting to figure some things out on offense. Cam Ward is starting to figure some things out in his rookie year as an NFL quarterback. That's what you'd want to see. Ward looked good today. Credit to him. I thought he played a really good football game. But you could abide that if you got some young guys in there taking their lumps, figuring out what it's like to be an NFL player, adjusting to the speed of the game. You could abide that. No, man, that was the first-string Chiefs defense got abused by the Titans today, and that's worse. That's more embarrassing. Frankly, that's a more embarrassing way to lose that football game. Is your first-team defense is out there ostensibly trying and getting smacked around because you won't run anything different. You won't run the new kids. Pass rush still doesn't get home. What else is new? Can't bring a quarterback down on third down. Can't get a third down stop because Christian Fulton can't cover anybody down the field. Just embarrassing. Embarrassing performance up and down by the defense today. The offense you can forgive, right? Because, I mean, I think we all knew how much of that Patrick Mahomes was keeping afloat for the last 2 seasons. If you didn't realize it, you saw it in stark relief today. And honestly, if I were an NFL writer and I had an MVP vote today, I would cast it. I would send my MVP vote in for Patrick Mahomes today because he was clearly the only thing keeping that team from looking like the damn Jets or the Raiders or a JV team. And it's not just the talent because, like, it's one thing. The offensive tackles are bad. Esapole stunk it out. I don't know what that debut was against Daniel Hunter for the Texans. Maybe that has more to do with Hunter being washed. I don't know. Esapole can't play. I've seen enough. Shoe Goddard can't play. That's obvious. The international pathway guy, great story, can't play. Kingsley Suamataia was terrible today. He's had a decent year, but he was terrible today. The scheme stinks. The passing game concepts stink. Everything about the offense stinks. And Mahomes kept that afloat to such a degree that I don't even think we really appreciate it until we saw it today. And so, there's only but so angry you can get about Chris Oladokun not leading a touchdown drive with 2 starting tackles who never played high school football and a wide receiver core of Xavier Worthy, who looks lost out there, Hollywood Brown, who's cooked 3 ways from Sunday, and Juju Smith-Schuster, who's even more cooked than that. I sincerely hope that each of you who is watching this video, and we thank those of you who are tuned in, I hope you didn't watch this football game. That's why nobody else is on the video with me. I texted the gang. I texted Brendan Orzinski and Spencer Dupuis early second quarter when the score was 2-0. I texted them and said, guys, you have my permission as the host of 580 Sports Talk. You have my permission not to watch the rest of the game if you don't want to. You have my permission. Go do something else. Brendan, be with your family. Spencer, you're leaving on vacation tomorrow. Like, just enjoy your Sunday. Don't do this. Don't do this to yourself. I hope many of you did not do this to yourself today. That was a horrendous football game. And if you're a Chiefs fan, they insulted you with that effort and that performance today. And they insulted you with their lack of commitment to finding out what the future of their football team is going to look like. Because the present wasn't good enough. And we already knew that before Patrick Mahomes got hurt, that the present of this football team wasn't good enough. And we just got to see more of what it looked like all year, except without the guy who was keeping it all afloat as best he could. And predictably, it looked like dog ass. Let's get to some comments from the YouTube and the Facebook. Appreciate, again, those of you who are tuned in today. And I think that Paul hit the nail on the head here. Welcome in, Paul, in the YouTube chat. Same conservative, cowardly, quick, short passing concepts, no threat of any variety. Yeah, offense is broken, man. The scheme is broken. The scheme needs a complete overhaul, especially when you watch some of the stuff the Titans did, some of their misdirection running plays to give their speedy running backs a head start out onto the perimeter to pick up big chunks of yards. When was the last time the Chiefs did anything creative on the ground? When was the last time the Chiefs did anything creative through the air? They did run a couple of plays. They ran one deep out to Xavier Worthy that I really liked. And Oladokun did try to rip a back shoulder throw to Juju, which I don't think Mahomes has tried a back shoulder throw to anybody all year, because why would you throw the ball back shoulder to Juju Smith-Schuster in the year of our Lord 2025? But, try something else. Try something new. Let it rip. Game doesn't matter. Let it rip. Just let it rip. And they had Oladokun out there with the same depth of target that we've seen from Mahomes all season long. Paul also points out one touch for Brashard Smith. Dameon Pierce was inactive. Here's the thing. Dameon Pierce isn't going to be on next year's team. I'm fine with Dameon Pierce not playing. Dameon Pierce stinks. Like, he's not. I know there are a lot of people out there clamoring for Dameon Pierce. The Texans would rather have the corpse of Nick Chubb on their roster than Dameon Pierce. That should tell you everything about Dameon Pierce. He can't play. He's not going to be on next year's team. I'm okay with him being inactive. But Pacheco and Hunt aren't either. Brashard Smith gets one touch. You tell me how that makes sense. Darren agrees in the Facebook post. Why didn't more rookies play? They wasted this game. They did. That's what it felt like. It felt like a waste of everyone's time. Least of all yours, if you took 3 hours out of your Sunday to watch when you could have been, I don't know, mulching some leaves, putting up Christmas lights, finishing your Christmas shopping. Jim in the Facebook asked a question. Obviously, Mahomes QB1 in 2026. Should the Chiefs draft a QB? I'm assuming you mean for developmental purposes. Yeah, it's about time to probably do something like that instead of playing backup quarterback roulette. The problem is you think you're going to have Mahomes for most of 2026. You probably want a veteran to make those first couple of starts and not an overwhelmed 5th, 6th, 7th round pick so that you're in a situation where you can win a couple of those games, hopefully early next year if Mahomes is out. So if you're drafting a quarterback, you're doing it strictly developmentally because you are going to have to add somebody. You're going to have to play veteran roulette one more year, but I'd like to get off that carousel. I would. I'd like to get off that carousel. And I do think the Chiefs should consider really investing in a third or practice squad quarterback to have around. It's a hard thing to do. They tried it with Shane Buechele. It didn't really work. One, I just don't think Buechele was good enough, but you always risk those guys if they have a good look to them, maybe getting claimed on waivers. So maybe they wait another year. Maybe they play the backup quarterback roulette for one more year because they need an experienced insurance policy for Mahomes off injury. But I think in the next 2 years, for sure, they're going to have to draft a quarterback. Ryan in the YouTube chat, they should rename the MVP award after Patrick Mahomes. Oh man, I just look. If you were inclined to take him for granted before, and I don't think any of you were, can't do that anymore. You see just how much he was keeping it afloat. We got a new listener. Don't think we've encountered 4BS Winford in our chat before. Welcome in. He says salary cap hell, I assume referring to the Chiefs. Not really. They are going to cut a lot of guys, and they're going to be able to restructure Mahomes' deal. They could actually end up with about 40 to 60 million under the cap next year. They're in a decent cap spot. It doesn't look like it right now. It looks like they've got like $17 and some pocket lint under the salary cap. But once you go to the work, the necessary work of pruning this roster of veteran players who don't contribute anything anymore, like Mike Dana, like Christian Fulton, like Jawan Taylor, and you go about restructuring some contracts, which the Chiefs are very good at doing, and they build the contracts in such a way that they're easily restructured, they're going to find themselves well under the cap. And actually might even be one of the teams with the best salary cap situations next year. Maybe that's overselling it a bit, but they're going to be fine. Not worried about the kind of salary cap that they're going to be in on. Ryan asked the most important question. Can the NFL flex us out of Christmas night? I already don't like the Christmas Day games. You guys know how I feel about the Christmas Day games. I've talked about that on the program before. I don't think you need to be playing sports on Christmas. It's not something I enjoy having to take time out of my Christmas to do out of a work obligation. I realize if it's just entertainment on in the background, that's one thing. But for the people for whom it is an obligation, like people who work in sports, the Christmas games suck. They do. I was already glad it was a night game. It was going to kick off after my son was already tuckered out and I could get him to bed. We got a show on Friday. We got 5A Sports Talk coming on Friday. I guess I'm going to have to watch this. But nobody's making you. Watch It's a Wonderful Life instead. Watch A Christmas Story for the umpteenth time. Never gets old watching Ralphie beat up Scott Farkas. I'll tell you that. Do anything else with your Christmas night. Do not watch this football team. They have shown if this is what it's going to be the last 2 weeks of the season, if it's just going to be more of the same lousy football that it's been for the balance of the year, then, skip it. Skip it. Putt, BLIZ, in the YouTube chat. Welcome in, Putt. Ask him, where's the heart and where's the pride? Great question. Didn't see it in evidence on defense today. Didn't. Offensively, that's more about personnel and the scheme and the coaches betraying that side of the ball continually and not having the best quarterback in the league to buttress it. Defensively, those guys all got to look in the mirror. Every single one of them's got to look in the mirror. They're not a single guy who brought it today. Not one. Not a one. That's humiliating. That's worse, honestly, than if they played a bunch of young guys giving up 26 points. You realize Tennessee's only scored more than 26 points a game this year once? That's their second highest point total of the season. Your first team defense just gave up. You can't look back and say, well, we played some backups. We rotated some guys in. No, you didn't. That's your first team defense getting scorched by the Titans offense. Humiliating. Well, this is already about 10 minutes longer than I thought we were going to go on this. And that's because of all of you. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you folks that have tuned in, asked questions, left your comments on Facebook and YouTube. We do instant reactions after every Chiefs game. I tell you right now, we're not doing one after the Christmas Day game. I will be full of nog and Christmas cheer. And I'm not going to let Chris Oladokun against the Bronco defense bring me down, and you shouldn't either. So no instant reaction on Christmas night. We'll do one more of these to wrap up the Chiefs season when they play their finale on January 3rd against the Raiders, and we'll have some more of these as we go along through college basketball season, which I hope you like, because we're going to be talking about a lot of college basketball in the month of January with no Chiefs. So if you do like this content, please like the Facebook page, WIBW News, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. Thanks for being here. My name's Dan Lucero. Enjoy the rest of your day as best you can. You're never getting those 3 hours back, and neither am I. This has been a Kansas City Chiefs Instant Reaction. Good night.